All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, and we're approaching the middle of December here, Wednesday morning, December 19th, and I wanted to talk to you about something very important today. Every day is important, but this morning, because of the nature of this topic, I am concerned that the controllers may be suppressing this, because this particular title is a combination of keywords that you're not going to find in a search engine, folks. So let's just give it a moment here. Yeah, as I suspected, folks. Okay, do we have a signal? Can I get a confirmation here that we're coming in? All right, no confirmations, no notifications. Okay, that figures, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Because when you start talking about how energy drinks are killing everybody, I guess it only manages to reason that when you take it a step further, they're not going to like you getting the word out. All right, I do want to wait just another 30 seconds or so here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, looks like now that I've gotten most of you. All right, so the notifications are kicking in. All right, good morning. Once again, Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, PO Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. Joe Imbriano 777 at gmail.com, and on the web at wifidangers.com and the fullertoninformer.com. Those are the blogs. And there's a backup channel on YouTube called WIKIJOE. People, listen to me. This is really important. I want to talk to you. People, you need to listen, okay? You got to listen to this, because this is not something I want to take lightly. Piezoelectric polio, folks. I want to talk to you about polio. I want to talk to you about viruses. I want to talk to you about what we're being fed right now and what they're about to do to us. Right now, this acute flaccid myelitis, this mysterious paralyzing illness that has no cure and no cause, according to the medical mafia, has now reared its head in England. I think there are 28 cases now in England. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry and a bachelor's degree in biological science from UCI, and I've got a lot of textbooks, and I've got a lot of years of research under my belt, and I do a lot of reading, very, very intense study on very bizarre things when it comes to science. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, that these people are working on stuff that would make the hair on the back of your head stand up. It is unbelievable the levels and depths of biological experimentation and artificial intelligence and nanotechnology and synthetic biology that is being undertaken right now. The research in these fields is unbelievable. Every time I go through these studies, and some were released as recently as 3 days ago, and a lot of this stuff is coming out of China, believe it or not. And that's because the government over there has bred a population of complete mind-controlled slaves that have been selected to serve the system, and those that don't end up in the reduction plant for shrimp farm food. I mean, literally, folks, China has more organ harvesting going in their prisons, and you know, more forced abortions and more human body part businesses going than anywhere else in the world. And so people in China, they just push and push and push to get to the top of the ash heap, because they don't want to end up in the reduction plant as shrimp food for the shrimp farms or for the fish farms. What they study over there would blow your mind. It blows my mind, and my mind's pretty broad. And it's hard to blow my mind because I've seen a lot of things. But the stuff I'm reading is blowing my mind, folks. And what really blows my mind is the 7th grade explanations for how we get sick, and the 7th grade explanations for why our bodies succumb to illness, and the 5th grade explanations as to what causes illness. And I think what's poorly understood in most people is the cause of illness, ladies and gentlemen. The cause of illness, the reason you get sick is not because of some virus mysteriously appears in your body and just starts taking everything over. The reason you get sick is because you poison yourself. The reason you get sick is because you sleep deprive yourself. The reason you get sick is because you don't get enough sleep. The reason you get sick is you don't get enough electrons from being in contact directly with the earth through grounding. The reason you get sick is you don't get enough sunlight and ultraviolet light through your eyes and on your skin. The reason you get sick is because you fill your head full of thoughts of all kinds of evil and filth and disgusting garbage and demonic satanic crap that is put on the television and the music and the movies by the deniers of Jesus Christ and their satanic cabal. The reason you get sick is not because of something you can't see. The reason you get sick is because of everything that you watch and eat and put in your mouth. That's the reason you get sick, folks, but they've got you afraid of these microscopic boogeymen. Now, granted, there's a time and a place for avoiding filth, okay? And the first time and place that begins is right now in your living room. Shut your TV off and stop watching those movies on Netflix and all these horrendous platforms to destroy your mind. Viruses don't make you sick, folks. As a matter of fact, I want to talk to you about what I believe viruses really are, and I believe viruses are part of your immune system. Your body makes them. Now, so does the Rockefeller Institute, and so does the government. They recreate and genetically engineer the surface coats on these phages, and in some cases, they've actually been able to manage to genetically engineer viruses so they can become piezoelectric generators to use in liquid crystal displays. I mean, of all things, folks, they're taking viruses, and by genetically engineering the sheet proteins on their exterior, they're able to modulate the dipole and consequently the voltage that these things produce. Did you hear what I just said, folks? They have created genetically engineered piezoelectric viruses to generate current. Now, I wonder what would happen if one of these ended up injected into your child through a vaccine and ended up in the spinal column, generating a bunch of current that it is not supposed to be generating. Huh. Boy, you don't say, huh? Piezoelectric is basically a term for compounds that when they're placed under mechanical stress, for example, when you squeeze some crystals really tight, they make electricity. Kind of neat, huh? A lot of electrical inventions are based on this concept. You know, viruses are piezoelectric, folks. Did you know that? I mean, I have a book at home. I believe it's about 900 pages, and it's called The Incredible Machine, and it's got these amazing electron microscope images of these parts of the body that will blow your mind. It's literally unbelievable. And what God has created is so incredibly, we are fearfully and wonderfully made in our mother's womb. You know, that verse makes so much sense when you look at stuff under an electron microscope, as I have during my years at the university, as well as I've looked at things in private laboratory settings after I finished my education, and in current research that I partake in now. I have people that have access to these devices, and you know, I've looked at blood under electron microscopes after it's been exposed to levels of microwave radiation that you're going to find in a classroom, and it's not a pretty sight, folks. The point I'm getting at is that these people are playing God with the technology, and let me tell you something, folks. They've got some really dangerous stuff, okay? And every problem we face is being created by them to force their solution on us, which is basically to create another larger problem which is going to force a more draconian solution, and on it goes, ladies and gentlemen. That's their plan. You know, I remember growing up riding my bicycle down to the beach, and one of the things I had to really avoid like the plague riding my bicycle down to the beach was broken glass, okay? Because that's a death sentence to a bicycle tire. And when you're 10 or 15 miles from home and you have a flat tire, that presents a rather serious problem. Now, of course, I used to carry a kit with me, but, you know, in some cases, if it's damaged enough, the kit's not going to help. So, you know, every time, you know, I would see, you could tell there was a car accident because you would see broken glass in the street, and, you know, some of the parts of the car, some, you know, plastic and some metal. Sometimes you'd see, you know, piece of the fender or whatever. But every time I saw a car accident wreckage and debris on the side of the road, there was always broken glass almost every single time, because it always involved a headlight or a lens or a window or something. Always broken glass. Now, if I use how the medical system determines the cause of illness and diagnoses the cause of illness, and I would take that 7th grade example of how they tell us we get sick, then I would be able to go to the scene of a car accident and say that the broken glass, because it was there present in large amounts every time we witnessed a car accident, that based on how the medical system diagnoses illness and tells us illnesses are caused, that I could tell you that because we find broken glass at every scene of a car accident, we can logically conclude that the broken glass was the cause of the car accident, right? Well, listen to me on this, folks. This is important. Because the medical establishment tells us that because when there is illness, they find viruses in the blood of someone who's exhibiting symptoms of illness, they're blaming the virus. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen, that the illness is caused by some other problem and the virus is simply your own body's response to the problem? Well, that's exactly what I believe, ladies and gentlemen. And now what they've done is they've had decades to genetically engineer different types of viruses, and they've created and erected and cemented, after they've copyrighted, the legislative enactment and draconian forced vaccination laws to literally inject everybody with viruses, folks. Did you hear what I just said? The legislative framework has been erected and enacted. The laws have been passed and the edicts have been handed down to inject everybody with viruses and viral particles. What do you think these vaccines are made out of? What do you think they're putting in these vaccines? If you take a vaccine, you are crazy, in my opinion. Everywhere you see broken glass from a car accident does not mean the broken glass caused the car accident. Everywhere you see someone with an illness, just because there are viral particles floating around in their bloodstream, that doesn't mean that the virus is causing the illness. If a car catches on fire and is burning black smoke, thick black smoke up into the air, as it will, every car fire gives off black smoke. Is black smoke the cause of the fire? Because you find black smoke in every fire that involves a car. No. Mitochondrial disease, mitochondrial dysfunction, is at the root cause of all illness. The medical system teaches us. The medical system, these pill-pushing, allopathic, petrochemical pimps in white coats with lots of initials, these evil freaks that call themselves doctors that are part of this, they're literally prostitutes for the eugenics operations. 99% of doctors are evil, folks. They're the 1% work in the ER when you come in with a broken neck. Those are the good ones. All the rest of these guys are a bunch of monsters, okay? They're pushing fraud. Modern medicine is fraud, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is. We've been sold a bill of goods that has now resulted in the production of piezoelectric polio by the shots, and of course by, you know how you screw up the mitochondria, folks? You screw up the whole endocrine system and all of the regulatory aspects of it with hormonal imbalance and poor diet and sugar and chemical pesticides and radiation, okay? And then they cut you off from the grounding. Did you know that the Earth has an electromagnetic field? Did you know that the Earth actually transfers electrons to those in contact with it, to plants in contact with it, to animals in contact with it? Do you know what grounding is, folks? Well, you know, I could tell you right now that electricians understand what grounding is, but do human beings understand grounding? Do you know that in order to receive electrons, you have to be in contact with the circuit, folks? And I'm not talking about the 110 in your wall. I'm talking about the Earth. All right? You have been cut off from the Earth by these social engineers that have inverted everything. They have tinted your windows to keep out the life-giving ultraviolet B rays that you need to produce vitamin D. They have given you rubber-soled shoes to make you break contact with the Earth. They have put you in a high-rise apartment to make you break contact with the Earth. They have given you petroleum-based fabrics like synthetic carpets to make you break your contact with the Earth. They have broken your contact with the Earth because your hands don't touch the Earth to produce your food anymore. Your hands contact a piece of plastic that goes into a chip reader to grab it off the shelf. And so we wonder why we are sick and why we are getting piezoelectric polio. It's because they're genetically engineering viruses and putting it in the vaccines, and they're injecting it into the children, and the children are being cut off from the natural source of electrons from the Earth, the sunlight from the sun, the oxygen and fresh air from being outside in nature, and the nutritional necessities that God created us to need, as our food is replaced with fake crap. By all you lazy, stupid moms and dads out there that buy all this processed crap for your kids, and, you know, look in the mirror and look what it's done to you, all right? And you know what? You don't like what I'm saying? Change the frickin' channel. You know what? Ellen DeGeneres on reruns right now. I think you could see Oprah talking about how to worship some new age goddess, and what else we got on? We got some Vampire Diaries for you on I don't know what's on TV. Maybe you can watch Beyonce, you know, bend over and worship Satan. I mean, seriously, listen to me, folks. Listen to me. All right? They've got you sucking on high fructose corn syrup, dissolving your bones, sitting on a couch with a bunch of Wi-Fi access points beaming at your brain right now. They've cut you off from the life-giving forces that God created to sustain us, and they've given us life-taking solutions that are killing us, folks. And now they're about to make them completely mandatory. Now, of course, mandatory doesn't mean an absolute necessity. Mandatory means, hey, you do this or else. All right? Call their bluff. And no, you don't open another beer right now. You don't take another bong rip right now. This is a serious topic. Piezoelectric polio is upon us, folks. They've genetically engineered viruses, these macrophages. They can take and genetically engineer the exterior sheath proteins of these things. That gives them the ability to alter the dipole of and the charges of these things, and then once these things get into your bloodstream through a syringe, they can end up in a place where the nanotechnology can deliver them by design, like your spinal cord, your brain, your kidney. And they're piezoelectric, so when they're subjected to any type of mechanical force, like you getting up to go to the bathroom, they start discharging. And tell me how that's good when it was designed to be bad by some freak in a lab 3,000 miles away on a government grant that has no idea what he's doing because he's 24 years old and he's in a compartmentalized research facility in a communist country. You thought 5G was bad, huh? All right, so I guess I can go into 7-Eleven, get a Big Gulp, and go across the street to Del Taco and get me one of these extra cheesy burritos. And, you know, turn on Kurt Cobain and stick that syringe in my arm, right? Is that what you're going to do? Is that what they do? Is that how people live? Is that what they've trained people to do? As they got them all hopped up on oxys because they went in for a headache? Wake up, folks. The doctors are killing everybody. Piezoelectric polio is upon us. Forced vaccinations are around the corner. And this epidemic is on its way to becoming a reality, folks, because they want it. They want you deathly afraid of the broken glass in the street as the cause of the accident, instead of the 1975 Ford F-150 with I-beam suspension with bald tires and bunk brakes, driven by a guy that's got about a 0.3 of Jose Cuervo going through his bloodstream, with the bed of that truck full of about 5,000 pounds of concrete bags. That's what causes the accident, not the broken glass. It is the mitochondrial collapse inducement by radiation, poisons, lack of sleep, lack of electrons, lack of sunlight, lack of oxygen. And you guessed it, folks. Genetic engineering through the syringe and the food. Not the virus. The virus is not the problem. The virus is part of the immune system. Viruses are endemic to the human body. Did you know that a virus cannot replicate unless it is inside a cell of a host? So tell me, how do these viruses end up all over the place if they can't reproduce outside of a host? And how do they live outside of a host? Oh, they just, and how did these things come into existence? Well, your body makes viruses. Monkeys make viruses. Chickens make viruses. Swine make viruses. Pigs make viruses. Cows make viruses. Every human, every animal, even plants make viruses, folks. It's part of their cleaning crew. Because when you have mitochondrial collapse, you have all this oxygen and sugar in the cell that does not end up going through oxidation. And so guess what? The cells start to die. And you have a junk heap on your hands, and the body sends a cleaning crew to come pick it up. Some are bacteria that are endemic to your system that morph and change depending upon what's for dinner, and as well as the viruses. And the viral protein levels subside when the cleaning job is done. Oh, but they got to give you Tylenol and drugs, right? You idiots. Your body is amazing. Stop ruining it. Stop killing it. Stop poisoning it. Stop perverting it. Stop neglecting it. Stop taking it for granted, and stop giving glory to God in a way that defiles God by ignoring what He's worthy of, and that is praise and honor and glory for making you. These evil, disgusting freaks in education teach you there is no God, and that all this meat and potatoes is just a bunch of tissue. My goodness, if you truly understood what we are, and what we were made of, and how we were made, you would hit your knees right now and scream out to God to forgive you. And you know what? You should, and now's a good time to do that. And come before Him in the name of Jesus Christ and ask for forgiveness for your vile, wicked, selfish, myopic, arrogant, idolatrous ways. And just like that, it's gone. And it's forgiven. Everything's a lie, folks. Everything you've been taught is a lie. Everything. The textbooks are lies. The teachers are liars. The professors are even worse. And the people high up in the government go well beyond being liars, folks. They're outright satanic. They're outright evil. They're outright sold out. They serve the dark side. What do we do on our level, in our neck of the woods, in our little neighborhoods, in our house, in our castle? We say no! We say no to these injections that have not been tested for mutagenic potential, carcinogenic potential, or impairment of fertility. Why would the vaccine manufacturers put that on their vaccine inserts on every one of their products? Because they have to. They have to tell you what they're doing to you, folks. Because then they can say, hey, we didn't warn you. You can't blame us for not warning you. They tell you what they're doing. Are you people crazy? Are you that stupid? Well, a lot of people are, you know. It's amazing. I went through a neighborhood over the weekend, and they're going to put a cell tower in the middle of a residential neighborhood, a 60-foot pine tree that's going to have all these antennas all over it. And you know what happens once they build it, more will come. They'll put more antennas. Pretty soon that thing will be so top-heavy with antennas, they'll have to reinforce it, right? It's right in someone's backyard. There's this cul-de-sacs that surround this site. And the cell tower is going to be 20 feet away from someone's house. So I put like a 5-page document on all the cars, printed a couple hundred copies, walked through the neighborhood last weekend. Instructions on how to look up the dangers on this, the link to the city's website, the date and time of the meeting, and instructed people, you know, how to go to the meeting, how to discuss the item, how to oppose. Nobody showed up. Boy, people are gone, aren't they? Aren't they gone? They're going to put a 60-foot cell tower in your backyard, and you can't get off your ass to go do something about it. My goodness, Fullerton is just full of morons. Unbelievable. Here's the deal, folks. Don't blame me. I tried to warn you. I showed you how to try to stop it. What do? Sleep in, watch the ball game, drink a beer. Don't want to miss your Jack in the Box on Tuesday night, right? Instead of sitting in a city council meeting for an hour out of your life, God forbid you miss your favorite program and your favorite Hot Pocket, you get to get a cell tower in your backyard. Good riddance, folks. Good riddance of that neighborhood. Right? Wrong. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop exposing evil and telling people how to protect themselves. I'm not going to make you protect yourself. It's up to you. You have to be the ultimate arbiter of your decision-making process, not me. I just provide information and advice. And take it with a grain of salt and a shot of tequila, because you know what? For some of you, that's what you need to listen to this, because it's too much for you. I can assure you that it's not too much, folks, because we have no choice, because what is too much is what is aimed at us. Piezoelectric polio, folks. They've genetically modified viruses, and they have nanotechnology to deliver these viruses to specific organs and tissue in our body. Don't kid yourself. Just look up some of the advances in medicine and how they can, through a catheter or through a vaccine, they can deliver a drug to specific tissues based on nanotechnology's ability to seek out and recognize specific cell and tissue types and drop the drug off at the door and let it do its dark magic. They do it with chemo. They do it with all kinds of applications in medicine, folks. They can do it with a genetically modified virus that has been genetically engineered to pulse in your spine and to take out your nervous system. They can do it with a macrophage that has been genetically engineered to end up in your vas deferens or in your ovarian reserves. You don't think they have the technology to figure this stuff out? Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. All right, we're pushing 30 minutes. That's enough. All right. Once again, Joe Imbriano, the FullertonInformer.com. That's Joe Imbriano777 at gmail.com. PO Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. I'm going to be having breakfast with someone real soon. I read my mail. This one's a doozy. This is the second one he sent me. And I'll tell you that this is no tea party right here, folks. This is no tea party. I will tell you that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and those that serve Satan are going to lose, folks. They're going to lose because their boss already has lost, but they haven't figured out that they're following a loser yet because they think Satan is a winner. Well, ask Charlie Sheen how following Satan worked out for his toothless, sorry, pathetic life, huh? All right. For those of you who don't know what this is, you can get one for $1 at 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree. And for those of you who can't read the print, you can get a pair of reading glasses for 99 cents at the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store. And I strongly suggest you start reading that, because you want to know why? If you don't start reading the Word of God, you're going to fall for all the wiles and tricks and deceit of the devil. And the Bible is a flat earth book from cover to cover, folks, and it is also a completed book in terms of prophecy. I'm going to check out right now, folks. And I'm going to finish. What do we got here? We got key lime, Meyer lemon, Eureka lemon, and a little bit of Dancy tangerine. That's the type. It's not some stupid drink that Alex Jones sells. This is stuff that grows on my trees. There's some juice in here. It's called a Dancy mandarin. They're a type of tangerines, folks. Really, really sweet. They're coming ripe right now. We've got some turmeric powder. We've got some collagen. We've got some pink Himalayan sea salt, black pepper. We've got some freshly ground ginger. And what else I put in here this morning? Coral powder, apple cider vinegar, some ice cubes, distilled water. Am I missing something? Start your day right, folks. My email is joeimbriano777@gmail.com. That's right. That's my email, in case you missed it. All right, folks. God bless all of you. And please feel free to send me whatever you feel necessary in terms of information or blessings. Whatever you want to send me, folks, because I want to tell you something. There's a lot of information to get out. I've gotten some really incredible stuff in the mail. And I really, really look forward to meeting some of you face-to-face very soon. I've got a ton of information that I'm going through right now, and Piezoelectric Polio is at the top of the heap right now, folks. I've been pushing on this polio thing, that they're setting up this huge scam to get us all injected. I'm telling you, it's coming. You've got to get ready to say no to these shots, and part of that means being prepared to hunker down. They may end up pulling something off to make you get in line for bread and soup rations, and one of the conditions will be get your injections. So make sure you can hold up in your house for a good period of time and not have to subject your family to being injected in exchange for a stick of butter. I'm not kidding. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. We'll be coming back at you later on. Bye-bye.